something, something, every plan we've ever built ever, something, 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 and we're live.
We are live on YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. I think this was the first. This has to be the first one. Yeah, this is probably Proto 1.
I need
say
to
Proto
not
1 on
talk. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That big sticky note that's in the back that says Proto 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on Facebook and on Instagram.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our Cyber Monday special. No. I'm making
Restart
stuff up.
that one. Welcome to the Rare Finds and Oddities sale. Which happens to be Cyber
Which
Monday.
we are only doing this year on Cyber Monday.
Yes.
We've done like multiple days in the past, and this year
Yeah.
we're just like, we're keeping it short and sweet.
Keeping it short, sweet. We found, so this was actually a question earlier in the first live stream with Willow. We found that doing it multiple days, there's a lot of logistics that go into place because most of these items, it's like there's one of in existence and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have enough product that we were like, 2 days we didn't think made sense. But
Yeah.
not that it'll never come back to be more than one day again.
It's also, it's nice for everybody to be like, if, like I know a lot of people on our Discord especially are like on it all day long.
Yeah.
And there's only so many days of a work week right after a holiday where you can get away with being like, oh, I wasn't as productive today as I normally am. Like,
Oh, my goldfish is on fire. I gotta be
Yeah.
back at these 4 times or 5 times today. I gotta be back.
yeah. So we figured we shorten it. We have a bunch of cool stuff. I'm wearing one of these sort of hot ticket items. This is one of the what is it? Showstopper, sort of?
Kind of our
Yeah.
showstopper rare find, I
Yeah.
would say, yeah.
This is definitely a rare find.
Yeah.
I didn't even know these were going on this time until I saw them on the rack.
Well, you do now.
It's like, okay, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
great. These
Well,
are awesome. I
are
love
awesome.
them. Both of them. They're both, they're not like super heavy,
Yeah.
but they do have a really nice sort of gravity to them.
I mean, it is wool too,
Yeah.
so like it is a nice like statement piece wool jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wool coat.
Yeah, more. It's kind of. I think it's actually the original Dorian fabric.
Oh.
So it isn't like it's not like Doom like super heavy like overcoat, but it does use some of the same things that I was testing around with the Doom Greatcoat variant, which we never made, except for a few of the
I think it was like 4, right?
of the custom. Well,
Yeah.
the customs you had a choice between the Greatcoat or the
Gotcha.
tailcoat version. So some people chose that.
Yeah.
So those are the only ones we've done of a Greatcoat. So this is kind of in that category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have 2.
Yeah.
And like you said, like there's not many of like our pieces like that, especially like as full length as this one. So it is like truthfully like the most rare finds that we have. Speaking of rare finds too, because some folks might be tuning in that have never heard of Rare Finds and Oddities that are like, what the hell are you two talking about? What is Rare Finds and Oddities?
Rare Finds and Oddities is our version of doing a sale of unusual things. We've got a warehouse full of like stock items, like our normal inventory, and then there's always something that sort of ends up like, I don't want to say floating around, but like floating around, like this, this is a weird thing. That's like, this is cool, we have it, and we sort of being this not fast fashion, this like somewhat. It's not a part of our like core values as a company, like sustainable fashion it's not like technically written in there, but it is core to like our belief in like, clothing should last really long and like all this stuff. And like for me, if I make it and it's just sitting there doing nothing, like it's not, it doesn't exist for a reason, and I want to make everything for a reason.
Right.
So we give it to you. This is an opportunity for you to get these like weird items that are perfectly valid like pieces of clothing, but otherwise would be very difficult to sell on a website. Like going to a product page and seeing one size available, getting somebody to find that one size who like happens to go on the page and has the right budget for it and is the exact size available, like those product pages just clutter up a whole website. And so this is our way of like taking all that clutter, gathering it up, and then just being like, here it all is for one day. And whatever doesn't sell, we'll wait till the next time we do this one day thing. It'll go
Yep.
into, it'll go into storage, and we'll wait and bring it back around and restock, like add new things to it.
Yeah.
That's a very long explanation.
That is a great explanation though. So like, yeah, right now
That's the reason behind it?
the reasoning. So yeah, right now it's like a semi-annual. Of course, during our birthday month in April, we typically end up doing a Rare Finds and Oddities sale. And then of course, around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, somewhere in that region, it just feels right.
Yeah.
Like it feels like the time where people are really looking for something to like sink their teeth into. And sometimes it's like, you've bought for all your family, like get yourself something nice.
Yeah. I mean, this is always that this is that time of year where everyone's just like, everything is super cheap. And like, there is a sale aspect to some of this stuff, especially the stuff that's like damaged in some way. And some of the discounts are pretty steep. And that is a part of it, but it's also like, for us, it's more about like, it's a way of being exciting and doing something that's different, doing a Volante way of doing a sort of Black Friday event.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a fun thing getting to hear from the community what you guys are looking for. I will always plug the Discord. If you're not in it, jump in there. It's really cool seeing what people are looking for, what people are wanting, maybe things that people were able to scoop up years ago on a Rare Find sale, or they were able to grab it now. It's kind of another way for us to kind of connect with you guys too, and to like, it's a little bit more of a playground than like our everyday. Like, of course, we're in there and we're talking and we're always like seeing what people are interested in, but it does pull out because it's like pieces from our past or pieces that were kind of ideas that maybe went a different direction. Like, it's the time where we can kind of like really gauge your interest with things that like we don't do on the norm. So it's a really fun time for that reason too. Yeah, and I would say like for technicalities, Rare Finds, those are typically going to be your prototypes, your one-off pieces. Maybe it's something that, like David said, there was like one left on the store and we took it down to kind of avoid that clutter. And so we're kind of bringing it out of the vault for like a couple days a year. And then an oddity would be, maybe it's got a little scuff, maybe it's a little slightly damaged, not as perfect as, still wearable, but not as perfect as is our standard. And so that way we will not sell it with our normal run. Instead, we'll give you an opportunity to get a really good discount on it, a really good sale, and a really cool, badass piece of clothing.
Yeah, scuffed, or it was in a photo shoot, where we lit a smoke bomb and it smells ever so faintly like smoke.
Or dumped a whole bottle of wine on it.
Right.
And you're not supposed to dump a whole bottle of wine, so maybe it didn't end up being 100% at the end.
No.
Or, either way.
Made for a great video.
Even if it was clean, we're not going to dump a bottle of wine on something and then just sell it in our normal.
Yeah, and just drop it back out. Just put it back in the inventory, please.
Yeah, it's totally fine now.
Didn't even adjust the inventory. Just grabbed it, walked back in, put it back on the hanger.
No. Those things, anytime we get to play with those things, which we do sometimes, it'll end up here in Rare Finds. Sweet. Do we want to play around and look at what we have?
Yeah, so I know this is the Rare Find, sort of the key Rare Find.
Yeah.
Do we have any other Rare Finds?
So some things from the vault, I know I don't even know if they're still available on the site, but people were super excited about seeing Proto Man again. Yep. Which we haven't pulled this out. I don't even know if we pulled this out last time. So this was one of the exciting ones. I'm trying to think if there's any other. We don't have a ton of prototypes this round.
Yeah.
This is one over here. Your original. I don't know if this was you or Emily who sewed this, but the original Riker jacket sample.
Oh yeah. I think this was probably Emily who did it.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. I remember I when I make a new design, like I sew it in my head before I get the fabric, So like I'm like, oh yeah, I sewed that, but no, actually I didn't physically do it with my hands. But I do remember like walking through and like this. We cut a few different versions of the shoulder and like trim. Like out of different fabrics to see what played really nicely together. We tested it with the faux leather from the Picard jackets, like this.
Yeah, we're over here.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
We tested it with this as the accent, but the aviator satin, it just looked really nice.
Yeah.
Especially, it's a little bit, the contrast of the color is a little bit sharper than the Picard red. So it just was, like I remember going through that process.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is that. That is a cool jacket.
It is a really cool jacket.
It looks really nice.
And this has much, I don't know if you can tell quick from looking at it, but has much change from this version to final.
I don't think really. I think we had like a couple of tiny things that needed to be like made it easier to actually sew.
Yeah, in a production sense, versus
Yeah,
like
yeah,
one.
yeah. Like this, all this like, there's a lot of seams that all match up, like meet up here. So we had to like play around with that a little bit
Yeah.
in the production model. But this is very similar to production model, but just one of the first ones that we made. I think this was the first one that we ever made.
I believe
physical
so.
one.
Yep. And so that, to me, that's even like one of the coolest things about rare finds is that even if it's like pretty close to similar, like somebody
Yeah.
would be happy to have this at like, even if, this versus one on our shelves, but we like to pride ourselves in not just shoving it back in inventory. We're like,
Yeah.
nope, this is slightly different. We're not gonna sell it as a normal piece, but then you can say you owned the first one, which I think is a really cool,
Yes.
cool added sentiment. And then this was made in-house too, which
Yeah.
we don't get to make all of them in-house because that would be so much.
Yeah, we thought about it so many times, and we've sort of, toyed with the idea of doing actual production in-house. We've done a few things in-house,
Yeah.
but not a lot. It's never been practical.
No.
Some of these even have like marks on them of like, this is first prototype or whatever, like marketing sample.
Yeah. I think it was, somebody visited us last year at New York Comic Con too, and I believe they had a sample that they wanted you to sign, if I'm remembering correctly, which is also like a fun little twist too, where it's like,
Yeah,
some people really take pride in that, like that first prototype.
I've signed a handful of jackets,
Yeah.
not many, less than 10 probably total jackets.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I signed one vest, and I've only been here for a year, and it was somebody at PAX East. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're on a better track. Your
Trajectory.
signatures per year, you're already ahead of me.
We're getting there. We should have a tally board somewhere.
Then we can start trying to get a popularity contest going for everybody.
Ooh,
yeah,
there you go.
if
VolanteCon.
there's a tally board, then everybody's going to start, sort of
Yeah.
toting their like, you want me to sign your thing?
Perfect. It's going to be like almost like an Easter egg hunt at VolanteCon now.
Yeah.
How many times can you get a signature from certain people? No, God, we're going to start the rumors. My hand's
Yeah.
cramping up just thinking about it.
Someone asked, anything in size 41? I believe you are wearing something.
Yeah, yep. These overcoats are, and I think there's a probably a good number of things that are in size 41.
Zipper prototype 2151 in 41.
Oh. Yeah. Ooh. The Enterprise jacket, the 2151. I made two at the exact same time when I was making the prototypes. One with jeans buttoned closure and then one with a zipper closure. And I was like, I knew that we would not be able to make the decision based on like, what do you think of this, but with a zipper? Like the imagination was not going to do enough. I'll put it on though.
Yeah.
It's too hard to imagine that difference. It seems like a small thing, but it makes a huge impact, the different kind of closure options you use. Where'd the hanger go?
Where'd you put it?
I didn't put it anywhere.
I have another one here.
I'll take it.
Perfect. Yeah, I would say too, like, a bit of the design process is just that. It's like, there's a lot of there's a lot of, we were talking earlier, me and Willow, about like intentional, things take time, production, probably a year to make things really from initial concept to finish, because really a lot of those things are intentional decisions and back and forth kind of checking and seeing like what makes sense and what fits. And yeah, that's just one example of why
Sorry
things take
about
time.
this. If there was some sounds. Yeah, I think it looks totally different. It's really cool. I think this denim is also just, we don't normally have like indigo denim in house.
Yeah, no.
So we didn't just pull it off the rack to make samples. I actually had to buy denim, which is funny because most of our jackets I feel like have been denim. They've just never been this kind of like blue,
traditional denim,
like jean
color,
denim.
Yeah.
So I bought some. So I think this is a little heavier than what we actually used. It's a little stiffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely like a fun piece. Again, the same sentiment of like, you want to be the one person that owns a zip up version of this jacket.
Yeah, we are not going to make this in zip up. I just like it in like the well, to me, the denim jacket version of the Enterprise jacket was like kind of a nod at the like 90s, late 90s style. Like it was just like that. All of the Star Trek series are like really influenced by when they were made, despite trying to be futuristic or exist in a different time period. It's like the 80s, like Next Gen is very 80s.
I mean, you couldn't escape. Even if you're like making a futuristic series,
you're always
like,
going to have that in
escape.
there. Yeah. So this, I've always felt like this is like Enterprise is very early 2000s.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I would say too, size 41. This is technically size 40 because these vests, I believe, always run on the even side of it. But this is one of the Star Warrior vests in Verdant Twilight. There is the tiniest pen marking that literally I could not see at first because it is so tiny. It is, I don't even know. It's like 1/8 of an inch of a pen marking right at the bottom where this this note is, because we usually tag everything and we show it on the site. And I don't even know how much we're discounting this, but it's a really good deal if you don't mind a tiny little
thing that no one will see.
That no one will see. Especially if you don't even wear the green side out. You really actually won't see.
Yeah, that's right.
Wapow.
Yeah. Man, I love the Star Warrior. I just had a weird idea about a Star Warrior vest, or a thing built on the Star Warrior vest concept. This morning, I was working on something else, and then I was like, wait, but I could do it like the Star Warrior. It's
can't wait for that
there
meeting.
Is stuff. Yeah, there's like, I think we've been talking about this in the Discord recently. It's like the Star Warrior vest has kind of been around for. It's one of the like longest running concepts, like product concepts. It's a product category that doesn't really exist, like long sleeveless like jacket thing. Like it's like kind of uniquely Volante. Not that nobody does it, but it's kind of something that is like that we've sort of coined, and our version of doing it is like kind of unique in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's been around for a long time, and it's had so many different iterations, and like there was the original, and then there was a Mark II, and then this is also sort of tagged as a Mark II. This is, there's problems with the way that we do marks on like versions of new designs.
We try our best.
We try our best, and people forget, and then like the Talon Mark II, like that's, anyway. I don't think there's ever been a Mark III of a product. That is a total tangent. Like I don't think we've ever made a Mark III. We do a Mark II, and then we cut the mark off of it, so that becomes the standard, and then we edit that design again, and it becomes a Mark II again. Because we assume that nobody has a long enough memory, despite the fact that many of our customers have been here since the beginning.
I was gonna say, I feel like Xbox still has it worse with some of their naming conventions, so we're doing okay.
Right, no, we just do this original Mark, sequel, and then the remake of the original, but then there's a sequel to that one, like.
Is there a prequel episode somewhere between this two?
Not unlike the probably the best name of any video game in like the remaster or sort of remake, reboot, Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
The one that just came out.
Right.
It's like the best way to do Mortal Kombat. Like, that's the best way to do a reboot name. Like Mortal Kombat 1 nailed it. Because no other, like the original was not called 1.
True, but you can't keep that going. It's interrupted. See, I grew up with Mortal Kombat, so now I'm mad because it's like, well, you can't do 2 because we have a 2. I own the 2. You can't do the 2.
Yeah, so what would you do? Mortal Kombat 1-2?
2 question mark. Yeah. 2 electric boogaloo.
1 alternate time. 2. It's just 2A.
See, we're really not doing that bad when you compare us to those.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And
anyway.
Speaking of Talon Mark II, we have Talons in the mix this time, which I feel like is one of the first times I've seen Talons in Rare Finds.
Yeah, that's
Small
cool.
stain. I don't even see where the stain is. A baby stain on these Talons, so I'm sure these, I believe I checked the price of these earlier. These are pretty well discounted.
Yeah.
And I can't even visually see the stain with my own eyeballs.
And there's so much going on, like visually in the design that you would never see it anyway. These ones have silver snaps instead of brass.
Yep.
But it's like gunmetal silver. So.
Yeah. And that's
cool.
when we mean when like literally sometimes there's nothing wrong with them. They're just different.
Yeah, like that one rook that had 6 buttons.
Yeah, it just had it like literally an extra button.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, you can get the only rook ever like this.
And it was probably because, I don't know which came first, but when the factory was making it, they probably just added an extra buttonhole by accident. And then they were like, well, I guess we have to put a button on. Or it was the other way around. They added the button and they were like, well, I guess, it'll work.
Yeah. We should almost do that. Maybe bad idea. Almost do that intentionally where it's like, hey, can you mess 1 or 2 of these up so we have something for rare?
Yeah.
Something special and funky for rare finds? Yeah.
Someone asked, on the Kage jackets, can you show how high the zipper runs?
Kage jacket. I don't believe we have any Kages out here. We might be able to convince somebody to grab us a Kage in a certain, what color? I think the gray and red has definitely made its way into rare finds.
How high the zipper runs?
That's what they're asking.
Is that the challenge? Is that like one of the noted challenges? Like it goes all the way up to the collar, and I think the hood is about 5 inches from the bottom of the neckline. So all the way up, it probably looks not unlike the Jonin when it's actually. What size Jonin is this? That's a 41.
Most things are roughly your size. So we were asked this too earlier in the Discord. Why are a lot of things 39s and 41s? David's the problem. You can directly blame David because most things that are prototypes are made in the size that he can wear. So
Because I need to be able to feel it to know if it's a good product.
blame you in a good way. Just somebody was like, why are they always the same? And I'm like, well,
Yeah, I could say that looks cool on you, but I need to be able to feel it to know, like, it's always, from day one, the first
you have
assassin-
clips on you.
I know,
Hold
I'm covered in
Who
buckles.
put that there?
Yeah, from day one, the first Assassin's Creed like hoodie that I made, I put it on and I pulled the hood up. And I was like, I am an assassin, and that was a feel before I even looked in the mirror. And I say that when I do it at conventions too. I'm like, you don't need to see this because you know you feel awesome, but go look in the mirror and that's just like that one extra step, because the feeling is something that you just can't really describe.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put this up, and it's going to be very like, I think the Kage is a little shorter than this. Yeah, Kage is just like an inch shorter than that.
Yeah. Sorry, audio headphone users.
Sorry, everyone. That's the zipper ASMR.
Someone asked, do you ever think you'll revisit the Essentials/Signature/Vanguard collection, either directly or just the concept of simpler, more accessible, but still badass clothing at some point in the future?
It's not on the calendar for next year.
Yeah.
I'm happy to tell you, or at least I'm willing to reveal that much. It's hard, we thought with the Essentials collection that, there's something about, there's 3 core pillars to our design language. There's materials, and like sort of construction, the durability, the feel of the product. Basically, in short, weight, but it's not really just weight, but it's about the feeling of weight. There's the cut, which is the way how it fits, and then there's design, which is usually, because of my design ideas, like a little over-designed, maybe, arguably. Very, complex design and like, a lot of detail and stuff like that. And we thought, what if we tried a collection that cut out 2 of those pillars in favor, or that focused on just those 2 pillars and not one of them, in order to sort of cut the price, make a more accessible thing. So I think you sort of mentioned the accessibility aspect of that, and I think they're good products. I think they're really nice. They're really nice jacket, really nice vest. But I feel like they lose one of the 3 pillars is really strong. Triangles are really good from an architectural standpoint. When you have 3 pillars, you got a good product. Like that is what actually that ties into, this is a total tangent, but it ties into, we were talking about the estate abbreviations.
Oh,
being
yeah.
being two-letter abbreviations, like Massachusetts being MA, and all these M-named states that have to have like weird conventions in order to have a second letter. 2 is not enough variation.
Right.
You run out of options with just 2. 3, you get a really solid base. I'm sorry, this is...
I mean, that comparison, it is like, not even apples to oranges. It is like apples to like
It's-
goats.
yeah.
Like, I get it.
But it makes sense
It does make sense, yeah.
to
No, you're
me. It tracks in my brain, so it's got to work for some. There's got to be at least one person out there that gets what I'm talking about.
I get you, buddy.
I
Don't worry.
just think that 3 is something that that's what makes it uniquely Volante.
Yeah.
We have a unique cut that is different from everybody else's, but it's not. But you can still get a fitted thing, or you can get a tailored jacket that fits really nicely, but it won't be designed like we did.
Right. I think it speaks to like on the marketing side of things, because that's like my department is specifically, we talk about like how people want to feel and like what do they see us for, and like a lot of the words are also in the direction of like bold and badass and like big, and so like that also what you're talking about and the direction you're talking about kind of leans more that way, in the sense of like people feeling like they're getting something more bold, more badass, more big, and so like it's also hard. I think that's one of the hard things as well, is like going Shire is just also like against what most of some of the language that kind of people use when they talk about us too.
So in the context of an entire collection designed to be essential in that way, I don't know that we may revisit it. I won't say never, but I don't see it that as like that's not currently a direction that I'm like that's on my radar. Yeah. However, there is another way of doing it, which is that creating pieces that are designed to go together. And if I were to create an entire outfit, for example, like that's all designed to go together, every single piece cannot be over designed. Cannot be like really complex and bold. You can't have all of them be a showstopper,
right?
Because then you end up with just a superhero costume.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's just too much,
Yeah.
So there might be a collection in which there are pieces that are designed to take sort of the backseat in terms of boldness.
Yeah.
In an effort to make one other piece look better. So we might end up with essentials that work, but not for that. Like, we might end up at the same place, but for a different reason.
Yeah, I think one of them that we mentioned earlier, Willow was pulling out some of the scoundrel shirts.
Yep.
Was just like sometimes having some of these like very.
There's
like,
one detail.
One detail, and it's like really high quality. Like by itself, it's a really good looking shirt, and also like. The thing that I love about our shirts the most is like when you intertwine them with like, try this with a vest, try this with one of the jackets, because it stands well on its own, and it also complements so many of those other pieces in such a way that it like, you have kind of like, this to me is like one of our essentials, even though we don't like label it as such.
And sort of all of our shirts, like their primary difference, like differentiator, has just been sort of in the neckline collar area, because we're going with vests.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Or they're not, but like, it looks good without a vest, but we've got a ton of vests.
Right.
They've been a major part of our like design language and collection. So, so putting too many details down here is just extra work for no good reason. Right. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about exactly. Yeah, but there might even be an opportunity for us to do like a cool patterned shirt, or a shirt that has like some more detail, because it goes with a jacket that was like intended to be worn open and is a little more simple, like the Star Warrior vest or something like that.
I was gonna say, we have even one of the shirts behind you, the hex grid.
Yep.
Was it the Smuggler, I believe?
Yep. That has a lot more sort of.
A lot more.
That
character.
has a lot more to say.
Yeah.
While still being from a distance, it's not,
Yeah, it's nice. Like, it's subtle enough where it's not like screaming at you, but it has enough information on it going on.
Yeah.
Got a few questions.
Sure.
First one is, would you ever make actual motorcycle jackets with safety padding and whatnot, or would the certification and fabrication be too much of a hurdle for a small company?
I would say it's not too much of a hurdle for a small company. It is too much of a hurdle for a company whose priority that is not. Right. If that was our core mission, it wouldn't be too much for us. That would be the only thing we were going for. But as a side project or a side mission, I don't think it's worth I don't see it being worth it.
Right.
You know, like, and similarly, like I've been sort of struggling with this a little bit with the crewman shirt, the Mass Effect crewman shirt. It's athletic wear, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to do in that category, but it's totally different from stuff that we've done in the past. So it's hard to break into it because people aren't coming to us for gym wear.
Right.
But I also want to do a lot of sort of cool athletic adjacent designs.
Yeah. Now, one I imagine is much easier to at least dip your toe in because it's not like the certifications are definitely a logistical challenge.
There's no certification,
you know?
right?
We just need to make it look cool. The function is not like safety, because that's another thing too is like safety. Like I'm going to use a quote from Ron Swanson. I do not apologize, but like, we don't want to half-ass two things. We want to whole-ass one thing. Which is a funny way of saying, like, if we do it, just like how the qualities are high, the design's high, everything is very intentional, we don't want to just kind of commit to it, but not really provide
this will probably
the full
protect
thing.
you, but we're not going to test it.
Sure. You know, we're like, well, we're going to protect you, but it's going to look like crap. Like, we just, we're not for that. So, like, if we're going to do it, we're going to have to, like, go all in, it feels like, in a lot of cases.
So that has always been, like, people have asked, and I've been like, theoretically, yes, I can do that, but I don't know enough about it to feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah, especially when safety's on the line, too. That also is, like, there's an added layer.
Yeah, and there's different materials that you need to use, nylon, like ballistic nylons and stuff. If you're not doing leather, then you have to get into different quality materials, and it's just, that's, even beyond the certifications, the, like, sourcing for an entire different category is like, it's my least favorite job to begin with. So to find a whole new set of things, a whole new set of sources for a whole new set of things is like daunting to, like, from the get-go.
Yeah, we don't want you to rip your hair out.
Yeah.
That's like the last thing we want.
Someone asked, David, have you ever thought about making a Volante-styled baby carrier for dual-wielding your kiddo?
Dual-wielding your kiddos, that's great.
So we had a few twin carriers. They walk now, so they're fine on their own.
Good to know.
Yeah, no, we're not carrying them very much anymore. I think, you know, over the weekend we went to like the Boston Aquarium and stuff, and it's like they kept being like, I want to see, like, pick me up, and I'd be like, you can sit on my shoulders because that is like centered and I can be like grounded, but I'm not carrying you any other way. That's bad for my back. I'm not capable of doing that. But I did think about, like, when we had a bunch of twin carriers, I did occasionally have one kid on the front and one kid on the back. That was nice and balanced. That was actually easier than like washing dishes with a kid that's strapped to your chest, because you're like sort of in the middle. And I thought about, like, oh, you know, this would be better if it distributed the weight differently, but that's a complicated process.
Well, I can imagine like battle tassets, but just like instead of just going straight down, it kind of like belts on the bottom, and then it's just like snap.
It's a battle tasset that transforms into a kiddo carrier.
Write that down. Dan, write that down.
It's got another strap that just like comes out from it, and then you're just like, that goes over your shoulder, and then your kid sits right in here.
Or like if you don't have children, A, dog, B, just like the help me, father help, or just do like the grocery, like never go in with grocery bags more than once, and just all right, we're ready to go.
Covered, you got killer cartons of milk and stuff in your.
The number of battle tassets equal the number of trips you want to take.
Yeah. No, I haven't actually yet gotten around to making anything for the kiddos. I want to make them some like tsukai pants.
Yeah.
But like it's just they keep growing. So
I was gonna say people have asked us before.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
They're wearing things for slightly longer now.
More than a week.
Yeah. Probably 6 months, give or take. As long as it's not shoes, those don't last that long.
No.
But yeah, so that. I have been thinking about, like, what's the first thing now? It's about time.
Yeah.
Make them some clothes.
Hell yeah. I know people have asked that before, and I feel like the biggest challenge is like, you know, your kiddo is not going to wear that for more than 6 months.
Right. I'll
time.
be working on it longer than they will wear it.
Yep.
planning and then like shrinking down our patterns and cut, yeah.
A little challenge.
And then it won't work. And even just measuring them, I've tried measuring them a few times. That's very hard to do.
That sounds miserable.
They get into it. And then as soon as I do it, they're like, now I'm going to measure things. And anything that they have becomes a measuring tape, and they measure everything in the house, and that's cute. But
Prepping them young.
But yeah, but it's a process just to get like a solid measurement.
Trying to think if there's any. Well, we
Are these
well, we
old? These
chat.
are
Some of these have been here a while, but
35
some people have never seen them before.
I love the AJ5. I miss it. I want to do something like that again. A cool bomber jacket.
Cool bomber
That'd
jacket.
Be fun.
That would be fun. I was gonna say, is there a design that you would want to bring back most? Not to create rumors where there doesn't deserve to be rumors, but
An old design that I'd want to bring back most?
yeah.
I wanted to make I still have one, a Washington that's like Dorian length. That's something that's like, that would be a version of bringing back one of our oldest designs, but in a different way.
That would be cool.
It's pretty cool. It looks pretty cool.
Like a back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a throwback. It can't be a Thursday because it's going to be more than just one day.
Well, now we have to launch it on a Thursday, so
Yeah. That's good because that's one of the days we do launch things.
it's perfect.
It's not like trying to launch things on N7 Day, which is on a Friday this year, and it screws everything up, and everybody's got to.
Let me tell you, we did. So in the past year, so not just 2025, we did 2 midnight launches, which is me because I am the night owl.
Because nobody else was willing.
Yeah, I was willing because I'm the night owl. I don't think we'll be doing them again. Or at least if we do, it has to be for something super epic that like people are really hyped for. But yeah. When it's a midnight launch, please know that there is a human. Luckily, the Vanguard, y'all were taking care of me in Discord. People were like chatting with me, and I'm like, keep me awake, guys.
So
I
normally
have to stay up.
we've got like 2 or 3 people checking all the things and like making sure that links are all working and doing technical support. And that time you had the whole Vanguard helping you.
Exactly. They were just like, go team. I'm just like, I'm going.
But you had to solve the problem.
Exactly. This one is neat. Just to pull off a random one over here. So this was another one of those production samples with no tag.
Oh, with no tag.
With no tag. So this is like legit the first again
sweet.
of a different jacket.
This must have been the first one that we made without with the printed lining.
Yeah. I remember when that came in, and that was like the hype of the month was like, look at this printed lining.
Yeah, that's such a cool little experiment. Having that printed lining.
Yeah. Yeah, Speed Racer. It is wild because it feels like that was forever ago, and also it feels like it was yesterday. And I'm looking back, and I'm like, that was back in like.
That was April? Yeah.
Which is just wild. This year has gone by way too quickly.
Yeah, tell me about it.
We got a few questions/comments. So the question is, any Doom codes in RFO this time? How about that long black one of yours?
So
that was just that long black one was not black. That was a normal green one. That happened to be in the weird contrast. What was going on?
Yeah, there was a weird contrast, and our team tried fixing it as best as possible without it looking distorted. Like at a certain point, it's like, do we want the green to look off, or do we want your face to look off?
Everything looks off.
Yeah, our normal photo shoots, like we were very diligent about like making it as true to color as possible. When it's a video shoot, like that kind of thing, it was like, well, we can see their faces, which is slightly more important than.
Yeah, so that wasn't a weird Doom coat. That was just the first Doom over like great coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't have any Dooms that I know of on the sale. However, we do have a Doom cloak. This thing's heavier than I was expecting. I think. So I believe this is an oddity. If I try to look for the tag, I might be here for a long time. Oh, there's a tiny tear. So if you are interested in Doom cloak, where is it?
Oh, it's on the back center.
It's on the back set. Like you literally, it's where what is it called? It's not the pauldron. It's the.
Yeah, one of the. I call it armor.
The armor.
It's where one of the snaps are for connecting it to the armor. So that would be covered with the armor.
Yeah, it would be covered, very unnoticeable to most people. but we're not going to sell it with a regular batch of things, so it goes in Oddities.
Someone asked, is there a brand/series y'all really want to work with? And if so, what would you make?
I know a personal answer that's not a professional answer.
Is
which
Final
is,
Fantasy 14?
What? How would you even guess that?
Wait, let me guess. Let me guess.
I feel attacked. No,
No.
it's very on point.
Very true.
Very true. I would love to do that. I would love the Ishtola long jacket situation. I don't know if you've seen it. They're not buckles, but there's a lot of like crisscrossy action and like fur type situation.
Cool.
It is a very elaborate. It almost looks like take the Automata vest and make it longer and add some funkiness up here. And it would
Nice.
be kind of similar is what I would think. But
Cool.
that would be mine.
We've worked with Warframe a couple of times over the last few years. I would very much like to do something for Soulframe. I think there's some cool fantasy armor stuff there. Even just like the sort of first in the initial like trailers and stuff. I think they just had one armor set, and it has this like these like 3 vertical lines that sort of curve off at the bottom. And it's just like that's kind of a vest. It would basically be the After Image vest, but fantasy.
Yeah.
Would be very like sort of cool way of doing it. I haven't yet convinced them that that's a good idea, but I'm working on it. I may have to make one.
I mean, and their team looks at Discord and Reddit a lot, so if there are any things that you guys want.
Yeah, that's right. They do pay attention.
They do very much pay attention. We love our Warframe people.
But I think my understanding is that they're still so like in the like building of what Soulframe is that they're not really getting into merch yet.
Right. So we went to TennoCon. Actually, David and I went to TennoCon this year, and they like just finally had like a tiny baby merch section of Soulframe stuff, and it was just like this giant room of Warframe things, and then like here's half of a wall with Soulframe stuff. So it's still in the beginning, baby stages. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just a T-shirt, maybe and a hoodie.
I think a T-shirt, like a couple T-shirts and a hoodie. Like when I say literally like less than 5 feet wide of just like here's a few options.
Green with gold print and gold with green print, and that was what we got.
That was kind of it, yeah.
The other thing, and sort of to tie back to earlier in the conversation with the athletic wear, was like Street Fighter, but as athletic wear, as like workout gear. Not like the Super X version of workout gear, so probably not really practical as workout gear, but in my version of like sort of streetwear workout sort of vibes. Street Fighter would be a cool one for that, but so would Dragon Ball Z. I think there's some like cool opportunities to turn those like martial arts outfits into a cool streetwear thing that nobody's ever done before.
That would be really cool.
You know, you get some. There's like some Street Fighter stuff, but it's usually just like straight bomber jackets with Street Fighter printed on it, like massive like all over print.
Right.
That doesn't seem to work, and like I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean those are universes too that I feel like have only been like accessed by, like you said, like the big logo thing, or it's like just pure cosplay. Like how many? I'm thinking the right thing. Like right, Chun-Li from.
Yep.
Yeah. How many Chun-Li costumes have you seen? I've seen probably a good 2,000 at cons, and so it's like those things. There's so much surplus, but not really in the fashion portion.
Yeah, there was a really cool like version. I don't remember what game it came from, but I think it came back around as a skin for Cammy in like the most recent Street Fighter, and it's like it's fitted like military jacket with like epaulettes and stuff. Like there's like a cool way of doing it that I don't think anybody's really sort of pursued, and I think there's some opportunities to get into that.
Definitely.
2 questions regarding license. Someone asked Expedition 33 license when, and also Brando Sando license when.
Oh, at least the Expedition 33, I feel like the past year nonstop.
Yep.
When?
We've gotten many requests for Expedition 33.
Yeah.
They are very, very busy people.
Especially now with all the Game Awards and Joystick Awards.
It's not the season to talk to them. We may have to wait until January.
Yeah.
But because right now I'm certain that they're preparing all their speeches and stuff for all their like acceptance, like award acceptance
Right.
at the end of this month. They're getting ready for that, and whatever they're working on in terms of like internally like updates or DLC or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're a little busy right now. Brando Sando, I spoke to that guy in 2022. I met him in person. We chatted. We had a conversation. The when is an impossible question to answer.
Our door is open.
Our door's open whenever, and like they're really nice people. They stopped by after that. They stopped by our booth at PAX East the following like 6 months later or whatever, just to say hi and like drop off some stickers and stuff. So like there's a semi-open conversation there, but the man's got plans.
Man's a busy man from what I've seen.
Unless you can, like, he has to be like, oh, this will fit exactly into my idea of this time. Like, the man knows when he's going to write the next, like, what the order is for the next, like, 10 books that he's planning to write. Like, it's big.
That's
it's
just
big
insane.
news.
Yeah. I mean, I remember even when, so what was it, last year was it this year or last year when he had his, like, little con, and we had sent some of our Vanguard out with custom vests and jackets that we made, completely just like, here you go, for funsies, hey, you know, maybe go show them off, you know, and it was just wild, like, looking up, because I didn't know who Brando Sando was at first, and, like, seeing even any of his live streams, because I believe we sent him one too, and it's, like, the amount of, like, oh, this is cool, next, like, the amount of just, like, fan mail and things that he gets, it's, like, he's a busy man, a very busy man, so, yeah, it might be a little bit.
Yeah, so you could get a toe in the door, but you got to get your whole shoulder in to get anywhere at all. So that's still on my radar.
Yeah.
Someday. I can only hope.
Someone asked, would you ever make a cycling or biking jacket with reflective details?
Reflective details are something that is a detail that is afforded to us with a couple of our new factories, mostly in China, and it is something that has been working into my design process. I'll say that much.
This is the awkward moment, smile and wave,
Yeah.
smile and wave, yeah.
It hasn't quite come into fruition yet, but it is something that I've been thinking about because it'd be very cool.
Yeah.
Piping or print details or stuff like that. There's a lot of opportunities to get into some cool futuristic reflective uses.
I was gonna say, my brain goes that way too. It either goes like the very non-fashion forward, like
Utilitarian.
here's the utility, or it's like the cyberpunky kind of futuristic like vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would be futuristic application of a practical element.
Yeah.
Combine those two things. Like that's how we always do it. Just like take this thing and turn it into something wearable.
Yeah.
And so I think reflective is a very cool new thing for us to try.
Absolutely. And that one's more practical because I feel like we have elements of things that are like, everything has to be practical. That's why we say streetwear, because it's like, we want to make sure there are pockets. We want to make sure there,
That's why there's a pocket on the battle sleeve.
Yeah, like even like something like the tune and crop, like there's a pocket there.
Arguably practical.
Yeah. How practical? That depends on what you're putting in that pocket. But like, you know, there is a balance, but also like we want it to look cool and over the top, and like, you know, do I need these magnetic buckles? Maybe not, but they're cool as hell and also practical.
Yep. I've been toying around with some sort of more medieval fantasy stuff too. That would be a separate thing. It's just, which is always challenging because sometimes I get stuck in the literal translation of a thing, and then I'm like, is that gonna look too much like I'm walking around in a suit of armor? Like, you know, like, so that requires like the testing of walking around. Simple, not rigorous tests, but wear this for a few months and see how people like sort of react.
Yeah.
Because I get so caught up in it that I'm like, this looks fucking cool, you know, like, and I don't know if that's like, if I'm just like into it, you know, like, or if it's just insane looking.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, I'll call you out a little bit, where it was like, before we went live with the Seco jacket, it was very much that, like, you were wearing that thing constantly. And then it was like, okay, it's time. Like,
Yep.
it's time to do this. And I think some of that is part of it. It's part of what like delays the product, but really it's testing. Like,
Yeah.
we don't want you to have something that's like, this feels like garbage to wear.
Yeah, if it's
kinda part of
particularly
it.
weird, it needs some like feeling out, you know?
Or like the pants, you know.
Yeah.
Our classic moment at the beginning of the year is Willow ripping the pants, and that's like, you know, it was very dramatic and like whah, on camera, but at the same time, like, we want to make sure that all those things are kind of tested, because if we can't get through a day or a week with them, then we can't expect to do that in full
New
mass.
product categories, new styles, they require some actual wear and tear.
Yeah, literally.
Someone asked, any plans for Volante original hats or shoes?
Can't do head to toe until we have hats and shoes.
That's right.
Technically.
That's right. We got head.
The hoods.
They're the exile hood.
Oh, the
counts.
exile hoods, okay. Head to ankle.
Yeah.
That's all we got you covered.
Yeah, that's as far as we've gone so far. Plans for shoes? No. Hopes and dreams for shoes? Yes.
Yeah.
An easy one. I mean, it's sort of a repeat, but for me, maybe not for you, that's fine.
What about for hats?
Hats, I have had some ideas for hats. I thought it'd be fun to do like a bucket hat, but samurai armor, like helmet style, but I've never actually tested it.
Yeah.
I have seen some like baseball caps that have like been turned into samurai armor.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but I feel like the bucket hat is more the right shape.
Probably, yeah.
But I think there are a few other, I feel like it'd be cool to make like a Scully cap or something like that, but there's so many other companies that do that.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know how we would carve out the like, why did Volante do that? You know, aesthetically, like I don't know what we would do that is so different.
Right.
Someone asked, they said, the Namahage cloak is ridiculously waterproof and comfortable. Are there things in the pipeline that replicate that functionality?
I will not answer that question, but I think that I have been identifying recently some of the like successes and failings of the Namahage cloak.
Right.
To me, it's just enormous to the point of being sort of difficult to use it's sort of difficult if you are not using it to carry it around. It's like as soon as it stops raining, it's too hot to wear, and you take it off, and you're like, well, I guess I'll just carry my tent around with me now. But I've lost the bag, and I got poles sticking all over the place. It just feels like a giant shelter tent. And so like that's one of the things that like if I were to recreate or sort of go down that road again, that's one of the things I would try and figure out how to address. Yeah. Be that thickness of material or shortening it or doing some sort of combination of a few different things to make it more usable and more travel friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say too, like, I will always plug too many plugs of the Discord, but like we do, you know, being a small business, we do have the luxury of being able to like look at our comments either on social media or, you know, our reviews on our website or, you know, even just like the messages in Discord. And so it's a really good way to just let us know if there's something you really love or dislike about a product, say the Namahage is one of them. If there's functions that you're like, I need this every time or I don't, while we can't promise that we can always try to make everybody's requests, it is good for us to like hear that feedback because it helps us, you know, potentially influence some decisions. I feel like some decisions, like, we at least listen to what people...
Yeah. I mentally catalog it all. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know our teams, like, we're always looking to see, you know, we may not, like, actively seek out, like, people's design requests or, like, kind of feedback, but every time we see them, we try to share them internally with each other, so at least we kind of try to keep tabs at all times.
Yeah. We have a whole channel on our internal Discord of just, like, this is something somebody suggested.
Yeah.
You know, it comes in.
Yeah.
We put it somewhere, and you know everybody sort of lets that go in and sort of process through.
Definitely, yeah. Where I see a lot, you know, some brands that are bigger, like they can only listen so much, and like I think that's one of our like pros of still being a small business is it's like there's as of today 11 of us, so you know that's the amount of people that are able to kind of like look and listen.
Yep.
I guess.
Someone asked, would you guys consider making Dante Co. from the Netflix series?
I would have considered it. There's some complications over at Capcom with the Devil May Cry license that make it kind of difficult, especially because there's a Netflix crossover, like the licensing around like sub-licensed. No, we can't do it. I like the idea. I wish we could, but it's impractical. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think
that's a straight answer.
Yeah. I think the direct example that we've mentioned before too is like there's a difference between our Middle Earth collection, like our Lord of the Rings. There's a difference between the books and the movie, the film that everybody has seen.
Right.
And so like sometimes it's like yes, it's still the core vibe and feel, but we're playing to these strengths of this kind of like entity that we're working with versus like.
Right.
Same entity, kind of, but not same.
Yeah, that was one of our struggles with the Lord of the Rings licenses, that we got the rights to the books, the text.
Right.
Not the Silmarillion, just the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, and not the movies, because they licensed from the same place. And so like we were trying to create clothing that felt like the Lord of the Rings to us, but also didn't get too close to us, like aping on the WB's situation, because like then they would get into it with us, and it was just like, so we had to like really sort of play pretty, play it pretty safe, not safe, but like really change it.
Yeah.
So that was a separate story, but it is kind of a like, licensing is very complicated.
Well, it's another layer of people involved and another layer of conversations, and complicated.
I think, that would be a different thing, would be to license the Lord of the Rings, get an apparel license for the Lord of the Rings movie series through WB as opposed to through the Middle Earth Enterprises. Then we could make things based on the things from the movies, but it's just like, that would be a whole other thing.
I was gonna say, that's much easier said than done.
Yeah.
As well. Just get a license, how hard is that?
Yeah, easy.
Easy.
Clearly
so easy.
simple, and there's nothing that stops us from ever getting new licenses.
Totally never. Not at all.
Well, so where are we at? It's almost 4 o'clock. That means the
4 o'clock.
last drop of the day is coming up.
Y'all have like probably less than 10 minutes, I will say. Shopify was giving us issues earlier. I believe we've since caught up on some of it. But 4 o'clock will be the last drop of Rare Finds and Oddities sale at all. So that is our last final drop. If you notice some things, I will kind of hint, if you notice some things on socials that you're like, hey, they didn't show up, probably in the last drop.
This is the last drop.
This is it. So the last drop will be at about 4 Eastern, and then from there they will stay live until roughly noon tomorrow, and then the vault gets locked. So you have till then to get your orders in. Of course, tomorrow is also the last day of our Black Friday sale, so if you were waiting and you didn't find anything in Rare Finds, you still have all day tomorrow to take part in Black Friday sale before those sale prices also stop.
That was intentional.
Yes.
To put the last day of the Black Friday sale after the end of Rare Finds and Oddities, in case you got something that you needed, and or like in case you didn't end up finding something. Anyway, people wait, which is fair, to see everything that is available to them, and then make their decisions. So we were trying to be a little kind around that choice.
Definitely give people time, because we know you've probably been hit with, as we were talking earlier this morning, sometimes multiple emails per day from companies, which we didn't
for every day from Tuesday on. Like I don't know, because I've deleted all of them, but I don't know how many emails I received from Doc Martens since last Tuesday. It's a little too much.
Yeah, we at least did a couple. So there was like an email a couple days ago, an email last Monday, and then we're gonna remind you tomorrow, hey, by the way, last day. Yep, this is your last day. So I think that's pretty much it. I know we'll probably be live again this Thursday talking about some stuff. We got some pretty big stuff coming up in the next couple weeks. So no more launches for the year. I know I already announced it in Discord. No more launches and restocks throughout the end of the year, but we do have a lot of fun plans in the pipeline.
Yep. So. Thank you for hosting both live streams today, Sarah.
Of course. Thank you for joining me. And thank you all for tuning in. Hope that you get all the rare finds that you wish for.
Yep.
I know it's very competitive, so definitely don't sleep on it, because people will buy it within the first 30 seconds. Yep.
Cool. See y'all.